Welcome! In this explainer from the IELTS Focus, we're going to build a high-scoring answer for a really common Task 2 topic.
Okay, let's dive right in. We're not just going to talk about theory here. We're actually going to craft a top-tier response together, right here, right now. So, here's the question we're going to tackle today. It's a classic problem solution essay, all about workplace skills. You see this kind of thing pop up all the time, so getting this right, total game changer for your score. Okay, first things first, the introduction. This is your absolute first chance to impress the examiner, and the #1 skill here is paraphrasing. Basically, you've got to say what the question says, but, in your own, much better words. So how do we do that? How can we take the core problem from the question and just elevate it, make it sound more sophisticated? This is a huge opportunity to start racking up points from the very first sentence.
Okay, check this out. It's amazing how a tiny change can have a massive impact. Instead of that kind of clunky phrase, new employees finishing education, just swapping in something clean like fresh graduates, it instantly makes your writing feel so much sharper, so much more academic.
And here's another brilliant technique, upgrading your vocabulary. Look at this. Are deficient in fundamental interpersonal skills. I mean, that's just so much more powerful than saying they lack basic ability. It sounds formal, academic, and let's be honest, it just sounds way more impressive, right? So the big takeaway is this. You need to build up a kind of mental bank of synonyms before you even start writing. For this topic, these are some of the absolute best swaps you can make. If you get comfortable with these, you'll be able to paraphrase with so much more confidence. Okay, so our intro is looking solid. Let's move on to the body of the essay. First up, we have to dig into the causes of this skills gap. Remember, you can have the best language in the world, but it needs solid ideas to back it up. So, the model essay we're building our ideas from really focuses on two main causes, and they're both super logical. First, the way our education system is structured, and second, our increasing reliance on technology. And that leads us to our first main argument. It's a really powerful point if you think about it. Schools are so focused on individual grades and test scores that those crucial teamwork skills, they just get pushed to the side. So how do you actually explain this in your essay? Well, the logic flows like this. When everything is about individual tests, students simply don't get enough practice working together in groups. And using a specific example, like standardized testing, really helps to make your point crystal clear. Okay, the second big cause here is technology. And this one makes so much sense, right? I mean, think about it. We're all communicating through screens so much more, and that's fundamentally changing how young people interact. It can have a real impact on their face-to-face skills. So, what's the result of all this screen time? Well, it means people are missing out on really crucial practice. Things like talking through ideas in person, reading body language, and just learning how to cooperate or even disagree in a constructive way when you're in the same room. All right, we've outlined the problems pretty clearly. Now we've got to pivot to the solutions. And here's the secret to a really high-scoring essay. Make sure your solutions directly fix the causes you just talked about. It makes the whole thing feel so complete. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to look at two solutions that perfectly match our two causes, one for schools and one for employers. This kind of structure makes your argument feel really tight and logical. So the first solution is actually quite simple, but it's super effective. If schools aren't teaching enough teamwork, well, the solution is for them to deliberately build more teamwork into their classes. And we're talking about more than just saying, okay, get into groups. This is about creating structured tasks, things like group presentations or big research projects, that actually force students to learn those practical skills, how to split up the work, how to communicate, and how to work together to reach a common goal. Now, the second solution is really clever because it acknowledges that this isn't just a school problem. It shifts some of the responsibility over to employers, arguing that, hey, they need to help bridge this skills gap once these graduates are actually in the office. And this is such a great, practical idea. Through things like team building activities or specific communication workshops, companies can create a safe environment for their new employees to practice those skills that they might be missing, like how to handle a disagreement or just share an idea confidently. Okay, now for the fun part. To really push your essay from just good to Band 8 plus great, you absolutely need some high-level vocabulary ready to go. Let's look at a few killer phrases from our model answer that you should definitely add to your toolkit. First up, this one. Instead of saying people skills, try dropping in interpersonal competencies. It's a fantastic formal way to say the same thing, and it immediately tells the examiner you have a strong academic vocabulary. Here's another gem. Instead of just good solutions, calling them viable solutions is so much better. Why? Because it tells the examiner you're thinking practically. It shows your ideas aren't just theories, they're realistic and they could actually work. That's super impressive. And I really love this phrase, mutual support. It just perfectly captures what makes teamwork, well, work. It's so much more sophisticated than just saying helping each other, and it adds a real layer of depth to your writing. So, at the end of the day, what's the point of all this? The only way you're going to improve is by actually using this stuff. So don't just watch this and forget about it. Think about which of these phrases or ideas you're going to put into your very next practice essay. That's your takeaway for today. Get writing!